Hi, welcome back to TNT. I'm Brittany Ryan.
And I'm Angelica Chavi. So, Brittany, did you participate in Homecoming and Spirit Week?
I did. My favorite day was definitely Twin Day because I was able to dress with my sister.
That's awesome. I think my favorite day I participated in was Team Day.
That was a very interesting day. And now to recap on Homecoming and Spirit Week festivities.
We take you to Courtney to show us some fun things that happened during Homecoming Week.
I'm Courtney Horton, and I'm here with Tiger News Television, and I'm recapping our homecoming. There was a pep rally where we showed our support to the boys and the homecoming candidates. Sydney Calloway and Garrett Craig were crowned king and queen. We lost the homecoming 8-28, but that never stops our school spirit. And I'm Courtney Horton with Tiger News Television. Back to you in the studio.
Now we're going to move on to sports. To hear some more information about the closings of the fall seasons and the beginning of the winter sports, we take you to Nate, Evan, Jacob, Brayton, Dylan, and Precious.
Hello, I'm Nate Leiby. Today I will be talking Tiger Cross Country with you. The cross country team has had a great season so far. I'm going to give you a recap on the results from their meets this season, and then I will tell you who is going to be running at the state meet this Saturday in Wamego. Now I will tell you the cross country results from the league meet at Marysville, which was held Thursday, October 12th. For the boys, finishing second with a time of 17 minutes and 19 seconds was Jarrett Fitzmeyer. Finishing ninth with a time of 18 minutes and 35 seconds was Cole Rice. Chaz Branhorst finished 12th at 18:42. Finishing 15th was Matthew Davidson at a time of 19:05. In 16th place was Brandon Spillman at 19:08. In 22nd place was Ethan Hill at 20 minutes and 21 seconds. And Isaac Lee finished 29th with a time of 21:24. The Tiger boys team finished second at the league meet behind Wamego. Now onto the girls' results at NCKL. Finishing with a time of 21 minutes and 19 seconds was Karin Larson in second place. Next, at a time of 22:21, was Katie Slichter, who finished 7th. Zoe Auld finished 9th with a time of 22 minutes and 32 seconds. At 22:49 was Emma Smith, who finished 11th. With a time of 24:29 was Jacqueline Bingosh, who took 23rd place. Anna Spillman placed 24th with a time of 24 minutes and 33 seconds. And Riley Keeler finished 27th with a time of 24:56. The Tiger girls team also placed second in the league meet, only losing to Chapman. Now I will share with you the regional results and tell you which runners are advancing to the state tournament next weekend. The boys and girls cross-country teams traveled to McPherson last weekend to compete in their 4A regional. Both the boys and girls teams ran hard, but no teams or runners finished high enough to qualify for the state meet in Wamego this weekend. The Tiger cross-country team finished their season at the meet in McPherson. Congratulations to the Tiger cross-country team on a fantastic year. I know everyone will be excited to watch them run and compete again next year. Well, that is all for cross-country. I'm Nate Leiby, and now I send it back to you, Angelica and Brittany, in the studio.
Hello, I am Evan Rosenau, reporting from Clay Center Community High School on the Tiger football team. The Tiger football team played Marysville on September 29th. It was a matchup of two 3-1 teams. The Tigers stayed in the game until the fourth quarter, but eventually lost 28-8. The Tigers turned the ball over 5 times, twice inside the red zone. The Tigers quickly fell behind 6-0, but the deficit did not last long as Caleb Mindham returned the ensuing kickoff for a touchdown.
Tigers will have the football back. The kick is another squibber down the field. It's going to be picked up by Caleb Mindham just inside the 20-yard line. A return through the middle. Not much room, although Mindham may have break loose. Caleb Mindham, he is to the 30, the 25, the 15, the 10, the 5. Touchdown, Tigers. Caleb Mindham takes it home out of a big pack in the middle of the field, and Mindham breaks loose. Tough as leather. Mindham has tied the football game.
I interviewed Gavin Ware to get his opinion on the game against Marysville and what we can expect to see from the Tigers when they play Abilene on October 6th.
I'm here with Gavin. So, Gavin, what did Marysville do that caused problems to the Tigers' offense?
They just did a good job of messing up our assignments, and we had about 5 turnovers. So
Yeah, Those are very costly. And what do the Tigers need to do to rebound from the loss and beat Abilene?
We need a good job at finishing our blocks and carrying out our assignments and just kill them.
The Tigers played at Abilene on October 6th. The Tigers played very well against a struggling Abilene team. The Tigers rolled to a 48-6 victory. This is the first time the Tigers have beat Abilene since 2012. The Tigers intercepted a pass on Abilene's first possession. On the first play on offense, Peyton Lane ran for a 60-yard touchdown to put the Tigers ahead 6-0. In the second quarter, Caleb Mendham scored a touchdown, this one on offense, to put the Tigers up 21-0 and virtually putting the game away.
5:05 to work, Lane under center. Tigers lead it 14-0, almost to halftime. Pitch out left, Caleb Mendham. He's got a blocker, Gavin Siebel. Cuts off the block to the 5, to the goal line. Touchdown, Tigers! Touchdown, Clay Center Tigers!
I interviewed the Tigers fullback, Levi Fitzenmeyer, to ask him questions about what went right against Abilene and how the Tigers can carry the momentum from the win into the first game of district play against Chapman. I'm here with Levi. So, Levi, how did it feel to go into Abilene and dominate them?
It felt really good. We had a good week of practice and a good week of preparation, so I felt like, having a good week, it really set the tone for the Friday night.
What did the Tigers need to do to carry the momentum into the game against Chapman?
Well, we had a good week of practice. I felt like everyone knew what we were doing. They run the same thing as we do. They run the flex bone in a 4-4, 4-2 defense, and so it's not nothing we haven't seen, and I feel like it's going to be a good week.
We wish you the best of luck. The Tigers played at Chapman on October 13th. The Tigers played good again this week against a one-win Chapman team. The Tigers won big again, 48-8. The Tigers moved to 5-2 on the season and 1-0 in district play. The Tigers recovered a fumble on Chapman's first possession. The Tigers took advantage of the turnover. Peyton Lane scored a rushing touchdown to put the Tigers ahead 6-0.
Connor Last is wide right. Here's Lane. Fakes it to Fitzenmeyer. Now tries to spin off a tackle. Does get it down inside the 5. In fact, reaching to the goal line. Touchdown Tigers! Staying on his feet. A mad scramble by big play Peyton Lane.
I interviewed Cody Carlson this week to ask him questions on the game against Chapman and how the Tigers can beat Rock Creek on October 20th. I'm here with Cody. So, Cody, what did the Tigers do right against Chapman?
We had over 400 yards of offense and ran the ball really well.
And what do the Tigers need to do to beat Rock Creek?
Play good defense and run the ball good.
The Tigers played at Rock Creek on October 20th. The Tigers won big again this week, 44-14. The Tigers moved to 6-2 on the season and 2-0 in district play. The Tigers are currently on a 3-game winning streak. During the 3-game win streak, the Tigers have outscored opponents 140-28. The Tigers play against Smoky Valley at home on October 27th to play for a district championship. The winner of the game will get to host the first game of the playoffs, and the loser will have to go on the road. The playoffs will be played throughout November. The regional game will be on November 3rd. The sectional game will be on November 10th. The sub-state game will be on November 17th. Finally, the state championship game will be on November 25th. We'll update you on the playoffs in the next show. We wish the Tigers the best of luck on Friday for the district championship game and in the playoffs. I am Evan Rosenau, reporting for Tiger News Television on Tiger Football. I now send it back to Brittany and Angelica in the studio.
Were Wichita Trinity, Winfield, and Holton. Wichita Trinity had a team score of 343. Winfield had a team score of 391, and Holton had a team score of 402. Clay Center did not have enough members to make up a team, so they did not have a team score, but we did have one person with an individual score of 110, and that is Sydney Calloway. A note from Coach. This was a strong regional. These teams will be competitive at next week's state tournament in Topeka. Sydney missed qualifying for the state tournament by a handful of shots. She had a solid senior season for the Lady Tigers and will be missed next year. We would like to thank all the local country club members that helped us run this tournament. They did such a quality job as markers, organizers of the range, and cart usage. Without their efforts, we would not be able to host such a fine event. And a special thanks to Athletic Director Greg Ferguson and the Concordia coach Rundus. That was the letter by Coach Alberg. And I'd like to thank you for tuning in to Tiger Golf. That's all for the season. Back to you, Brittany and Angelica.
Brayton, and I will be interviewing Mrs. Rose and along with some of the other tennis players to tell me how their season went and some fond memories they had this season. I asked Mrs. Rose what her favorite part about coaching was this year.
My favorite part about coaching is just getting to work with a great group of girls. They're pretty humorous, so it's always a good time at practice, but they're also willing to work hard on the courts.
I then asked her what she was most proud about her players.
We were a very inexperienced team as far as varsity. We lost our entire varsity team last year, so I thought they'd be a little apprehensive, but they came out strong and they continued to improve throughout the season. So I'm really proud that they just came out and worked hard every meet.
Finally, I then asked Mrs. Rose what she saw most improvement on the year.
Serves. Our serves have gotten a lot stronger throughout the year.
I asked the senior girls about how their season went and about some of the best memories they had this season.
All right. This year's tennis season went really well as a team. None of us went to state or anything like that, but it was still a really good time. There was only 6 of us this year, so we only went to the varsity meets, and all of us got pretty close. My favorite memory of this tennis season was probably after NCKL when we went to Dairy Queen all together and also stopped by Academy Sports, and we're supposed to be looking at tennis rackets, but we got distracted by the golf clubs.
My name's Kaylee Hartner. I'm a senior, and this tennis season we had a really good one. There was 6 of us out, 3 seniors, which one got injured and had to quit, but we had a full team pretty much. Everyone went to every meet. My partner Jay and I, we didn't do that well at regionals. We played the number 2 ranked team at the entire regionals, and we lost to them, but that was okay. We played well, and we placed at a meet or 2, tied for first at one, placed third at another, and it was a great season for being at my first.
This is Brayton signing off with Tiger News Television. See you next time.
Hello, I'm Dylan Swihart, and welcome back to volleyball. I will be interviewing Janessa Wickersham to get their input on this season and their favorite memory of the 4 years they've played volleyball.
At first, our season started out pretty good, and then we went through some rough patches, but it was pretty a good season overall. I think the team could work on communicating better next year and passing a little better. My favorite volleyball memory was when Hannah was taking some of us to Manhattan, and she was hitting a lot of butterflies, and she was like having a contest to see how many she could hit on the way to Manhattan.
The volleyball team finished their season 12-23. They had many close matches, but they couldn't close them out. They also had a lot of potential this season, but didn't finish the season that they like to have. Congrats to the volleyball team on a good season. Good luck next year.
Hands up for the Clay Center cheerleaders. After tryouts and camp with K-State cheerleaders, there's a new squad with many new girls. At all the football games, rain or shine, the cheerleaders are there with a smile on their faces and showing some great spirit for the Tigers. And when basketball and wrestling season roll around, they'll be there too. I'm Precious Smith, and I interviewed the coach and 3 of the senior cheerleaders to tell you more about cheer.
And I came here in the spring of the fall of 2009, and I came on in the spring of 2010. So this spring will be 8 years that I've been coaching.
What's one of your favorite things about cheer?
My favorite thing about cheering is, well, of course, stunting. Being able to toss girls in the air is one of my favorite things to do. But getting to know the girls throughout the years and being able to see them go from freshman to senior is really fun to watch the growth. Our girls work out every single day, especially through the fall, in order to keep up their maintenance and be able to work hard to throw our routine in February. It's very important that they stay in shape, and so we work out every day, whether it be some sort of circuit or what we call burners, which is basically squats over and over again.
What's something you want to try this year?
I think with this group this year, we've started a little bit slow stunting. I think it's taken a little bit of time for the new girls to kind of catch on and get things, the technique right. And I think it's as we get closer and into basketball in wintertime and stuff, we're going to start throwing harder pyramids. So that would be my goal with this group is I think they're strong enough. It's just getting it done correctly and safely.
I would say probably just wanting to try new experiences in high school and quitting my other sports. I just want to try something new. One of my favorite things would have to be stunting.
What's the hardest thing about cheer?
Probably some of the workouts, like we do burners. That's probably the hardest thing for me.
What's one of the scariest things you've tried?
Probably log rolls because they are dangerous with the flyer.
What's one of the most amazing things you've pulled off?
Being one of the main groups for the double back pyramid.
Here.
I loved to perform when I was younger, and I wanted to try something new in high school.
What's one of your favorite things about cheer?
I love to perform in front of a crowd and being involved in the school.
What's the hardest thing about cheer?
Working out.
What's one of the scariest things you've tried?
My freshman year, 3 weeks before performance, I was put into the air as flying, and I had a flip, and I was super scared for that.
What's one of the most amazing things you've pulled off?
Our freshman year performance because of me freaking out about flying.
I want to see you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
What made you try out for cheer?
Precious.
What's one of the scariest things you've tried?
The pyramid.
What's one of the most amazing things you've pulled off?
A teddy bear.
Be sure to catch the big performance in February and come to the games and yell out with some of the CCCHS biggest supporters. I'm Precious Smith, signing out for Tiger News Television. Back to you, Brittany and Angelica in the studio.
Thank you for catching us up on sports, and good luck to the football team as they finish out their season.
We now take you to Brayton down at the fairgrounds.
I'm Brayton Williams, and I interviewed some of the FFA Farm Safety Day leaders as they tell me more about FFA Farm Safety Day.
So our station is fire safety, and we're teaching kids about what to do if there's a fire. And I'd have to say my favorite station here is probably the snacks, because they're always good.
I have drone safety, and my favorite part of Farm Safety Day is getting to be a good influence on the youngins.
Well, we're out here with Farm Safety Day working with Wakefield and then the 4th grade classes from Garfield as well. And we put this on every year to instruct students on how to be safe on the farm. Because many of our students do not come from a production agriculture background, and if they go out and visit a friend's farm, we want them to be safe out there. Unfortunately, it always seems that there's always one case a year that we hear about of somebody not being safe on the farm, and as a result, they lose their life. And that is why the FFA members are so passionate about putting this on and instructing members how to be safe on the farm, but also with coming to the fair and how to interact with those animals. And then if they end up mowing their own lawns or starting up a lawn mowing business, how can they be safe handling those as well? And so it's very important with Clay Center being a predominantly production agriculture community and county that we keep sharing this message with the young students of our school district.
Thank you, Brayton. It's always interesting to see all the little kids learning about something and getting excited about it. Now, to move on to something we can all celebrate, we take you to Jacob with more information about Pietique Weekend and all the activities that followed the parade.
Hello, I am Jacob Ruiz covering your Pietique Pandemonium. Pietique is a tradition of Clay Center. Pietique is held at the last Saturday of September once every year since 1936. The word Pietique comes from the words pioneer and antique smushed together. There was a lot to do during Pietique. The courthouse square was full of different activities like vendors, food, crafts, and bouncy houses. There was a parade at 2 p.m. that ran from nearby the swimming pool, and they marched their way all the way downtown. In the morning, there was the Mark A. Chapman 2-mile fun run as well as the 5K. The night before was cruise night, where you could see lots of old cars driving through the downtown area. People all around had an exciting time at Pietique this year. Well, that's all about Pietique. Back to you, Brittany, and Angelica.
Now to take a break from the news, I'm going to take you to Nick and Nikki on their new segment of Nikki Why the Science Guys.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Nikki Why the Science Guys. Today, we're missing Nikki.
Oh, I'm sorry, that's wrong hand. Oh, I'm sorry, Nick. Oh, that's one of my favorites.
Why?
I'll tell you why. It's because I'm Nicky White, the science guy. So, Nick, what are your plans for this Halloween?
Sit at home, eat candy, get larger, the usual. What's the experience today?
Well, first off, that is everyone's game plan. Second off, I just showed you using the demonstration of light and shadow. Let me give you an example. That prank consists of all you need is a phone and an object. In this case, I use my hand. So the light emitting from the phone is the light source, is expanding out, and as it expands, the light particles separate and get bigger. So therefore, the closer the object is, for example, my hand was right here, the bigger the shadow is going to be as it expands out with the light. So, what kind of candy are you eating?
Sour candy, lots of sour candy. Maybe cats.
That's going to destroy your teeth and your stomach.
You're right.
Well, everyone, if you do this prank, make sure that no one gets hurt. Thank you for watching Nicky White Science Guy. I'm Nicky White.
And I'm Nick the Guy.
And you have a happy Halloween.
Boo.
Thank you, Nick and Nikki. It's always interesting to see what you guys have up your sleeves.
So, Angelica, did you go to Beauty and the Beast last year?
I did. I thought that the cast did really well.
I agree. It was a really fun performance to be a part of. Now we're going to take you to Precious, giving us information about Footloose, our new musical coming out on November 10th and 11th.
Followed by Precious and details about the upcoming musical, we take you to Dylan Swihart with the high school news.
Been working so hard and the Footloose cast has no time to slow down. Coming up on November 10th and 11th is the school musical. This is the third musical at CCCHS. There's a crew of 24 with a whopping cast of 33 members. This is by far the biggest cast we've had so far. You won't have to hold out much longer. Be sure to get your tickets and come see the show. I'm Fred Smith for Tiger News Television.
Hello, I'm Dylan Swihart. And this is high school news. This segment is where we recap what happened around the school in the past month. So what happened in October? On October 2nd, the girls' varsity golf team traveled to Hayes TMP for a tournament. On the 3rd, the varsity girls' tennis team traveled to Abilene for a tennis tournament, and the volleyball team also traveled to Abilene. 5th, girls' golf traveled to Rossville. The fall concert was held in the auditorium at 7 p.m. for the vocal classes. On the 6th, girls' tennis regional started. The high school had Farm Safety Day, and the varsity football team traveled to Abilene. On the 7th, varsity volleyball traveled to Council Grove, cross country ran at Salina, and girls' tennis regionals continued. On the 9th, varsity girls' golf had their regionals. On the 10th, the volleyball team hosted Marysville for their senior night. On the 11th, the high school had picture day. On the 12th, the cross country team had their NCKL league meet at Marysville. On the 13th, state for girls tennis started, and the football team traveled to Chapman. 14th, the high school band traveled to Lindsborg, and the girls' state tennis meet continued. On the 16th, girls golf had their state. 17th, the volleyball team traveled to Rural Vista. On 20th, the first quarter of the school year ended and school got out at 12 o'clock. Also, the football team played at Rock Creek. On the 21st, cross country went to run at the regionals. Volleyball hosted their sub-state. On the 24th, FFA National Convention started and will continue through the 28th. And today, CCCHS will hold parent-teacher conferences at 4 p.m. This has been what happened in the month of October around the school. Back to Angelica and Brittany in the studio.
Thank you, Precious and Dylan. I'm so excited to see this year's new musical, and it's always super nice to know what's going on around your school.
Now to move on to something more serious, we take you to Evan to give us more information about the new CASHA classification rules.
Hello, I am Evan Rosenau, reporting from Clay Center Community High School on the new CASHA classifications for football for the 2018 season. Next season, there will be 48 teams in 3A, 32 in 4A, 32 in 5A, and 32 in 6A. Clay Center got moved down to 3A, with other schools from the NCKL. Clay Center, Concordia, Chapman, Wamego, and Marysville will all be in 3A next year. Abilene remained in 4A. Other area schools have moved. Riley moved from 3A to 2A. Bullard remained in 3A. Rock Creek moved to 3A as well. I interviewed head football coach Todd Rice to talk about how the changes will affect football. What do you think of the new classifications for football?
I think it's going to be a good thing. I think the population base or the size of the schools is a little bit more fair across the board, and it's different than in the past. So you're seeing some teams that have always been one class going to another, but I think it's a good thing.
How will the new classifications affect district play?
You're going to see everybody in 6-team districts, so there's 8 of them, and so the bulk of your schedule is going to be the district now, so it's going to make for a lot of different matchups than maybe what we've seen in previous years.
And how will scheduling affect district play?
It's going to change leagues quite a bit. Like, in fact, next year we will not even see Concordia. Concordia won't see us or Chapman. So the NCKL, as well as other leagues, not everybody's playing, and that's the way it's always been in the past. So now it's going to be more about district championships and trying to qualify for the playoffs.
This has been an update on the CASHA classifications for the 2018 football season. This is Evan Rosenau for Tiger News Television. I will now send it back to Brittany and Angelica in the studio.
Thank you for giving us information and keeping us updated about the new CASHA regulations and rules. As you all know, the Woods class and the shop classes have been working on the Tiger House. We now take you to Nate outside at the Tiger House to tell us more about what's been going on and what all has to be done.
We
Hello, I'm Nate Libby, reporting from Clay Center High School. The Tiger House is being built by students in Construction Tech 1, 2, and 3 classes taught by Mr. Kelly. This is Mr. Kelly's third year teaching here at CCCHS, but this is the first year that he and his students have gotten to build a house. I have heard from many students in his classes so far that they enjoy working on the house for a project. The class has been extremely busy. So far they have accomplished many things on the house. Next, I will show you a time-lapse of when one of Mr. Kelly's classes raised the walls, and then I will do an interview with Mr. Kelly and one of his students about how the project has been going, what they have built already, and what they will be building for it next. I'm here with Mr. Kelly. So, Mr. Kelly, how is building the house gone so far?
It's going good. We're fighting the rain and wind right now, but it's going good.
What all have you put on the house so far this year?
So far we've had the floor and all the floor joists. Now we're hanging the rafters right now with all the walls up.
What are you going to be putting on the house in the future?
Once we get the rafters put on, we'll be ready to put some decking on the roof and shingle, and we'll have some windows, and then we'll start siding.
I'm here with Chaz Brainhorse, who is in Construction Tech. So, Chaz, what have you built on the house so far?
We've worked on the subfloor. We got the walls put up, and now we're working on the rafters.
What is the favorite thing you've learned from building the house so far?
I've really enjoyed working on the rafters so far.
Thank you. Well, it looks like the Construction Tech classes have been extremely busy and gotten a lot of work done in the first 2.5 months of school. I am very excited to see what the house looks like when it is completed in May. Anyways, that wraps up this segment on the Tiger House. We will keep you updated on future additions to the house that will occur throughout the rest of the school year. I'm Nate Libby, and this has been a report on CCCHS Tiger House. Now back to you, Angelica and Brittany, in the studio.
Thank you, Nate. Now we're going to move on to Angelica talking to us about upcoming events that might be important to you.
This year's musical will be on November 10th and 11th. November 10th will be followed by the Fall Ball, which will be a Sadie Hawkins this year. Girls Ask Guys. There will be a contest for the best dance proposal. You can submit your proposals on Twitter or Instagram with the hashtag CCCHS Fall Ball, or you can email your submissions to Zoe Ald. The winner will be granted free admission and 1 free concession. The dance is semi-formal attire. Buffer Week will be starting October 30th and will last until October 10th.